Okay, let's try this.
Okay, yeah, this is
Everything
squirrel.
else looks fine on my end, so that's why it's like weird.
On my preview of the stream, you sound good.
Yeah, here we go. There we
What
go.
story are we on right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, we did it.
We did it. We fucking did it.
We did it.
Oh fuck yeah. Okay. Oh fuck yeah. I'm 2 rats. Oh okay. There's just 1 rat now.
Yeah, no, I messed up. I messed up.
Okay, so I'm the rat at the bottom, and then you're the squirrel at the top.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
I'm gonna move the squirrel up a little.
Yeah, the squirrel up.
Give it more headroom.
Yeah, but make sure the rat's the top layer though.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
So how are you doing, friend?
Dude, I am if it wasn't for this Tylenol, I would be really not feeling great at the moment, but the Tylenol really helps out. Just had a lot of medical issues in the past week, so that have all been kind of like piling on top of each other, and then the whole tire situation, just the icing on the cake. So it's been pretty rough, but I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there. You know. How about you? How's everything?
It's going it's going good. It's going good.
Good.
I'm just kind of going, working on video stuff. I was in the middle of today. I spent today recording audio for a thing. Um I also went and voted. So that was fun.
Nice.
That was fun. Less than 2 weeks, by the way.
You got that? You got that early voting done?
Yeah.
Cool. Could you tell everyone in chat who you voted for today?
Wally West.
Wally West.
Flash.
Yeah, that's a very good candidate. Yeah, I was also thinking about voting for him, but I wasn't really sure. I was also thinking about voting for my bird Bernie. Not like the other Bernie, but like my Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
You hear
Okay.
like chewing at the mics. I think she'd be pretty good at that. But yeah, no, I'm here to pump out the rest of this information with you. So let's fucking let's dig in. Let's dive in. Let's fuck.
Okay.
Where'd you leave off?
So, I wasn't too far in. I kind of just spent a long time talking about Dragon Ball.
It's a good time. Yeah.
Hold up. Yes, Shinigami. There are rumors of Raito remaster. There haven't been any details though, or any updates in like the last month though. So it's kind of up in the air. I think it's very possible, and it probably is gonna happen, but we'll have to see. I'll have to see. Anyway,
Raito game?
so I guess like very first thing we can kind of go back and talk about general thoughts. Metaphor came out.
Okay, yeah, so I'm actually having a really good time with Metaphor right now. Like it's one of those things where it's like the prologue does not. I mean, it's a long like the demo is a very long like. It's a big chunk of like gameplay, right, for that game.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, like the further you go into it past the prologue, just like the better it gets. And I'm not even that far. I'm like on 624 right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just got to that part where we're starting the tournament arc, basically we'll call it.
Yes.
And I'm just so excited for it. I just think it's so cool. Never had so much stun lock for freedom of choice in my entire life. So that's cool. I think the game's just really fun. It's a nice blend of SMT and Persona stuff. I think it's great. I just think it's great all around.
What?
And the Buddhist monk rapping is insane.
So it's actually not. It's actually Esperanto.
Esperanto, huh?
Do you know what that is?
No fucking clue. What is that?
It is a modern language that was created with the express purpose of combining every language in the world so that every person can like can easily understand it regardless of what their native language is.
Oh, that's pretty cool. It's like the natural evolution of the English language, which was originally universal for the world. Now it's going to be, what'd you call it? What'd you say it was?
Esperanto.
Esperanto.
Well, the problem with Esperanto is like it is like great and it's super easy to learn regardless of where you come from, but the problem is the relationship between language and culture. Language is heavily based on culture, and if there's no one of that culture to speak the language, then it kind of dies.
It kind of dies, yeah. I see here it was an artificial language devised in 1887.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I've never heard of it, well, first off, that's not saying much, but it's been around since 1887. I mean, it's a long time for it to have success, but not to have a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I just hold on. I just noticed that by coming back to this, restarting the stream, the thumbnail got wiped, so I just got to reapply it. Hold on.
Fair.
But yeah, no, Esperanto's cool. All the chanting's in it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm on like 7:10 right now, I believe.
Yeah.
I haven't played it since this past Sunday though. I've just been busy. I've been busy doing stuff. I am I'm having a lot of fun. It's so good. I really like the characters. Okay, we've been talking about how long the demo is. Yep. It's shocking to me how long it takes for you to get a fourth party member.
Yeah, and I haven't gotten mine yet. That's the interesting thing. I'm just like, damn, this is taking a while. But
yeah, it's basically like in Persona games, you typically get your fourth party member. You get a full party by the time by the time you're like halfway through the first dungeon. If that. Persona 5, you get a full party within like before you even properly start the dungeon. P4, you get a full party by the time by also pretty instantly. P3 is the only one where, it's a bit dicier on the whole. Do you get a full party of 4 or not? But it still doesn't take that long. You don't get a full party of 4 until you are in the second major story dungeon.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that
but
takes
you get multiple archetypes too in that time as well.
Oh yeah, I think that's kind of what they do is they try to make up for it by giving you a bunch of archetypes.
Yeah, like here's different ways you can play the game, and then in the meantime, we'll work on that other party member. I thought that girl that gave you Brawler was gonna be a party member. It's like, oh, I guess she's not. Okay.
What person?
The pink-haired papyrus or whatever they call him. That gives you Brawler.
Oh shit! You saying papyrus screwed me up.
Yeah, I know. It's I love it.
Papyrus
or something like that. Yeah.
Metaphor. God dang it! No, you messed me up.
The metaphor is Sans Undertale.
Her name is Katharina, and she's just Rin from Full Body.
Yeah, actually, pretty much.
Like her design is almost the same, except this time she actually is a girl. Parapus. Parapus. That's the name. Parapus.
Paragus.
But yeah, she's a Parapus. She's cool. I like her. She's neat.
No, yeah, she's great. She's Episcopalian. She's got good fashion sense. She's she's a great character. I like her. I also like the brawling archetype. That was a powerful hitting class too.
No, seriously.
That was like big numbers. Like I'm talking.
So right now, I'm kind of where what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to level up all of my I'm trying to level up all of the main archetypes for each person. And then once they reach rank 20, I move on to try and get the other ones, trying to get them some other ones, so that at the very least I can have at least one character that is maxed out in an archetype.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the problem is, at least so I've been. It's not really a problem. Problem is that I keep unlocking. So I've started unlocking the second tier archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like ultimate personas, except they're not ultimate personas, just evolved jobs. I think it's really funny, by the way. I think it's really funny how a lot of people. I've been seeing a lot of people try and talk about this in terms of like, oh, it's like the persona system. It's like, I don't know why people keep comparing it to personas and demons. It is just a job system. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just,
it's
it's a
completely
job
different.
system. This is
Mhm.
not comparable in the slightest.
It's like a weird evolution of DDS, kind of Digital
Exactly.
Devil Saga.
So
Yeah.
I think it's funny how people keep comparing it to. I understand why they compare it to Persona, because the game is very much the Persona framework. But when you really
Yeah.
break down what the archetype system is, it's not this is not comparable in
It's
a
a
mechanical
job
sense.
system. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
think one thing I do want to speak about it really really fast is like it gives you a lot of choice, but it doesn't always encourage that choice. And I
mhm,
think that's kind of weird because the characters are specifically good at like certain types of things. Because obviously, what is it? Like Stroll is very much a physical dealer, but if you wanted to say like make him like a mage, which I mean it's up to you if you want to, then it wouldn't really be the best. But like I don't know if difficulty types like maybe let that work. Like how do so it's like if I wanted to make or if I wanted to make Hulkenberg like a healer or Stroll a healer, like it would be really weird just because their main stats are like physical or like strength, right? So it's like you can do whatever you want, but it will never be truly optimal for every character, right?
mhm,
Which is kind of a shame, but I also don't know what else they'd really do about that unless you were able to directly build your characters, like the party members themselves, like you can do the main character.
mhm.
But even still, the main character is also built like towards the seeker route. Like I made the main character the brawler because I like martial arts, I like monks and shit like that.
And you do
Um,
share a name with him.
and I do share a name with him, right?
Re-
Exactly.
Real quick, just not to interrupt
Yeah.
you, but you see what I was talking
No, it's
about when I said that see what I was talking about when I said that if you named yourself Will and the character Will, you would miss out on like
yeah.
yeah, cuz
Yeah, I named him like William and then just me, Will.
yeah.
I
And
was like, well, I
then
would do
you
one or
look
the
in the
other, but
book and it has your name in it. So
yeah, yeah,
that's what I was talking about, where it's like you're not gonna understand that. You might think, in fact, you might think there's a plot point that's not there.
yeah, yeah. And Jazz, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it is an issue. I'm just saying it's something I don't really like because I like to be able to have that freedom of choice be really like I don't know the word for it. It's like there's you're right. They're clearly good at their specific things, which is cool in its own right. I just don't like it as much. Like I like it in the regard that it's like okay, that's what they're good at. But if I want them to be like magical oriented and they're physical oriented, then it's like well that sucks.
You
Not an
you
issue. I just don't. I wish it was a little different.
you
That's all.
would prefer a system more akin to what Xenoblade 3 has, where the jobs in that every single every single party member can be any job and they all play exactly the same if they are that job. There's no differences. No character is necessarily better at it than others, which I've seen
Yep.
some people complain about, but because they would prefer something like Xenoblade 2, where even though characters might have the same job or the same weapon, they have completely different moves. I get that, but I would almost prefer there is at least in the context of Xenoblade, I would prefer the characters to, the job system to work how I would imagine a job system would work, which is everyone is kind of like the job dictates how it plays more so than the person. Um
Yeah. Yeah.
which I can understand the benefits in either direction. It just depends on the kind of game. With this, I'm more fine with it. I'm not against it. Um But it just kind of it is what it is. I'm still kind of like I'm making the main character. I'm making him lean a little bit. I've been struggling with this for a minute, but the fact that Seeker is a class that focuses a lot more on like support, which I think is actually very appropriate for his character and what you're doing. Making
Yeah,
him a
he's
very
yeah.
support oriented uh
Mhm.
class where it's more about help, like you can still attack and you do stuff, but you also help others like with healing and buffs and stuff. Um,
Yeah, it's like Dragon Quest Hero. Dragon Quest Hero is the traditional hero class where they're mainly supportive of their party,
mhm.
right? And so it's like original Dragon Quest type shit,
Well,
which is really really cool.
I just like I'm still kind of I'm kind of making him a bit more magic leaning, but then like Stroll, he is all attacker. He is like my attacker. He's doing the physicals and stuff. And then Hulkenberg, she's the tank. So I'm making her lean more towards being a tank.
Right, and I don't like that the game chooses that for you,
Mhm.
and then gives you the illusion of choice. I don't like that.
I
Like
can get that. I'm
if you
fine
like
with
it, that's fine. Yeah,
I get that. I'm
like
fine with it, but I can totally get why you would feel that way.
yeah, like I'm not gonna knock it or anything. I just wish I could. I mean, and that's the thing is nothing's stopping me. Nothing's stopping me. It's just I wish I could make it optimal, but
Mhm.
that's I mean it's fine. Like just play on normal mode, right? At that point,
Yes.
because like it's like hard mode, you'd probably have to stick to like their stuff, their archetypes, right? But normal mode, I mean, yeah, probably whatever. Like I'm doing fine damage, like as types that aren't nearly like really respectable to their original characters as like
Mhm.
whatever class I want. I'd say difficulty setting is probably where you want to really get that. Yeah, skill inheritance is really good. Like I could get Tarukaja from the was it the warrior
Yes.
class and then make the MC like he could make brawler more of like a thing, even though it's technically because like you get the skills that you can naturally put points into, but also he has like his own like random growth too, like a typical protagonist
Mhm.
in SMT. So that's pretty fun. But yeah, you can offset that balance and use that with like skill inheritance. That's very true. It's very true.
Mhm. Well, past that, I'm really enjoying it. There are a few moments where that's another thing when it comes to like story and the world. There are moments where I'm like, oh, I think this is great. I think everything with the tribes and all the world building happening there, I think all that is great. But then there are
Yeah.
certain moments where I feel like they're trying to combine a more traditional fantasy framework and setting with like giving it an Atlas spin, giving it an Atlas take on things. And a
Yeah.
lot of it works, but there are moments where I feel like the Atlas flashiness kind of just clashes and it clashes with like the setting.
Yeah.
Um for me, the main thing, the one that kind of bugs me, I don't really care for the archetype awakening scenes. I
Okay.
the whole thing where they like specifically they reach into their chest and they pull out their heart, but their heart is a microphone and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they treat it like it's a concert.
Hmm.
I think that's like I understand like thematically how it works, but to me it's just like making this a rock concert is weird. It just doesn't fully work for
Yeah.
me.
No, I also got similar impressions. It never like, and I don't think it did for you either. It never like hampered anything for me. But I definitely did like was like, huh, that's interesting to bring out this this tween awakening in a really dark medieval setting.
Yeah, that
Um.
she Nigami, yeah, that they really don't hit as hard as the Persona Awakenings. I think part of
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
what it is the Persona Awakenings are typically accompanied by like they come at the end. They unfortunately they tend to come at the end of that character's development of their arc, where they spend hours developing this character and then their persona awakening happens, and that's typically where they tend to like climax, or at least they begin to climax. Technically the entire dungeon and like running through and fighting the boss, that is the actual full climax of their arc, but it feels very much tied in with that character's arc. Whereas so far these archetype awakening scenes, they're just kind of like happening, I guess. And
Yeah.
it's not coming after like a bunch of characterization. It feels like it just kind of like happens to them. It's just like, it just kind of happens to them where they just decide like, I don't want to just stand by, and then they want to speak truth to power sort of thing. But it feels like they didn't really set them up, or it doesn't like it's not as well set up, I guess, for it to be this big pop off moment. It feels more like, okay, cool, now they can fight in my party.
I feel like the world is too dark for what the characters typically like how they end up expressing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how that would ever be taken in any way, shape, and form, but I don't know how else to word it. It's like, I don't know, it's just the tone doesn't always match the atmosphere, does it? Like, does that make any sense? Like, it's like they're in a world that's clearly like, it's like dragging Persona into Berserk, right? It's
Kind of,
like,
yeah, where it's like
it's like
make a lot of it can work, but the moments that are supposed to be the big flashiness, it kind of clashes, and it doesn't feel like it belongs. But I also understand that these awakenings are supposed to be like this big magical moment.
Yeah.
But it still just kind of clashes with everything else surrounding it.
Yeah, it like feels like it's trying two different atmospheres. But honestly, I welcome the experiment. I always, even if something does or doesn't work, I always welcome the experiment because it's interesting to see how that feels, right? So I'm excited to see where this goes. Can we just spend the whole stream talking about Metaphor?
We've been talking a lot.
We've been talking a lot about Metaphor.
It's really cool. I like it a lot.
It's a good game.
It's a great game. It's a great game. I need to play more of it, but I'm busy doing stuff.
Yeah. I'll try and play more of it tonight.
But yeah, it's awesome. I feel like there's a lot more to it than just it's fantasy Persona. I think calling it just that is kind of reductive. Not only do I think that like I think it's a lot more unique than just being Persona, but at the same time I understand why people are calling it fantasy Persona. Yeah. But also it draws like a ton from various different Atlas games. It's just using the Persona framework.
Yeah.
There's a lot of SMT in its DNA. There's Digital Devil's Saga. There, it's drawing from a number of different avenues. It's not just Persona. And I feel like part of that might just be, ignorance on the wider Atlas catalog. Which, I can't blame people. But at the same time, it's like, I think there's a lot more to appreciate here.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's more Persona outward. Like on the surface, it's more Persona, but it's also got a lot more SMT than people will give it credit for. Like whenever I could allocate a skill point, I was like, yeah, we're playing Nocturne again, baby. All strength, World of Strength, baby. And it's like, well.
And it's not just gameplay mechanics, it's also like story, where freaking Luis, he's Louis Cypher. He's Lucifer. Like,
yeah,
it is so unsubtle. He's just Lucifer. On every level, he's just Lucifer.
This is Griffith.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. It's also kind of nice that you're actually traveling around and not just being kept to one location. It makes everything feel like kind of a lot more exciting moment to moment, because it feels like, oh, I'm like going out there and doing stuff and seeing new things. It's really cool. I like it.
Yeah, where are we going now? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're not just like going back to high school, and you're not restricted by the fact that you have to go back to high school narratively. They can, it allows them to do so much more, and they don't have to simply just return to where you need to go.
Yeah, this is medieval high school where you can go around and maybe get robbed.
Yeah. Also,
Bargain bin Griffith. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's Louis Cypher mixed with Griffith. That's actually what he is. It's what if Louis Cypher was a big fan of Berserk, but for the wrong reasons.
For the wrong reasons, like just instead of like trying to be Guts, he's trying to be Griffith.
He misunderstood who the protagonist was.
Yeah, he thought it was Griffith. No, it's like not quite. He only watched the Golden Age arc.
Yes, and he watched the old anime where it just kind of ends, and it ends in the middle of the eclipse, and it's like, oh, I guess that's how it ends. Wow, I want to be like Griffith. It ended really happy for him.
Yeah. He end. What if he ends when Griffith is in the prison and he's just there?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the last thing you saw. Yeah, he does have Napoleon vibes. It's
Yeah,
true.
that's
I agree
true.
with that.
That's true. They absolutely drew from a number of different angles from him.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good villain. I like him.
Well, anyway, I already talked a lot about Dragon Ball, so
Yeah, we can move on.
Yeah, we could just kind of skip over that. Sparking Zero is really cool. There's a lot of Daima DLC. How is Xenoverse 2 still alive? It's been a decade. My God. That game sucks. I don't like it. Oh yeah, there's a new Dragon Ball Goku balloon being added to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Macy's didn't give up. Yeah, we're still Goku ballooning.
And this time, it's not obligatory. We have to push the current hotness. It's one that's much more appropriate for the entire franchise. It's just normal Goku.
It's just fucking Goku.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
It's not, it's not
to
Super
see it.
Saiyan
Let's
Blue. It's
see.
normal Goku. I would have taken Super Saiyan Goku because that's also very representative of the whole series.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I could take base form. I could take Super Saiyan form. Either one works as long as it's Goku.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not God though. You know, it'd be funny if it was Super Saiyan 3.
That'd be really funny because it'd be weird.
Yeah, just be variable all over the place.
He's like, okay, why 3?
Yeah, specifically why 3? 3 is the most underrepresented fucking form ever.
3 is the most, like, pointless because it wasn't even... 3 and God are the most pointless because they didn't even win.
Yeah, so it's like 3 won in like 2 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, 1 movie, sorry. It didn't even win against Gen, but they had to fuse.
Yeah.
And then, what was it? God just, I mean, he still used it in like Super Broly or whatever, and like Tournament of Power every so often, but it just like absorbed into his base form, and now his base form is just like has God Key, so he's just like ultra strong now. And it's
Battle
just, like,
of Gods, it was
okay.
the big thing in Battle of Gods, but there, I don't think he didn't really win. He just kind of satisfied Beerus.
Yeah.
He didn't actually
Super Saiyan
win.
3 is too unrefined. And it's funny because Blue was the same thing. It drained too fast, but they kind of refined it more in like Tournament
It gets
Power,
abused throughout the entirety of Super.
It gets very abused, yeah.
Yeah, and it's...
They use it a lot.
I think Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego are a lot more interesting anyway, because it's them doing something new. So
Yeah, and to themselves, like even though Ultra Instinct, I think Goku said doesn't really fit him.
Mm-hmm.
It's still like Ego fits Vegeta, and he's like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, we'll see whenever the Super manga decides to come back.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
And maybe the anime. Who knows? Anyway.
Who knows?
Anyway, so I was just getting on when you came in. I was getting on to Sonic X Shadow Generations came out. But specifically what I put down was Dark Beginnings. I know you played a little bit of it yesterday. I don't know how much you played.
Yes, I did not see Dark Beginnings, unfortunately. I just played the game a bit.
Dark Beginnings, real quick, you can download Dark Beginnings as a free DLC. And you got it on PS5?
Yeah.
Okay. Go on the PlayStation Store. It's free DLC. You can download it. On PlayStation, there's apparently like additional scenes, but I don't know what those are, and that's kind of weird. Dark Beginnings is really cool.
Okay,
it's
yeah,
really
I'll check
cool.
it out. I saw some screenshots from it, but that's pretty much it.
It's very well animated. It's been praised pretty much across the board, which I think is really funny because people were praising the writing, but people are also upset about the writing of Generations, or the rewrites of Generations, which I have on here.
Yeah.
Man, Sonic fans you cannot please them.
You can't do it. I heard there were rewrites. I just don't know what they were fully. Do you know what they're?
Basically, my understanding is it seems like these rewrites came from a desire from Sega to kind of modernize characterizations, if I had to guess. A number of characters, so like Amy, for example. In the original Generations, in the opening scene, she's trying to like forcefully hug Sonic, and there's a gag where he's like holding her face back while he's talking. He's just casually talking to Tails, and she's like trying to force herself to force Sonic to hug her.
Yeah.
That got reanimated, so now she's trying to force him to take a plate of cupcakes, which a lot of people are like, "Oh, you took it away," and it's like, no, I don't think they took it away. I think they just lessened the insanity, because if you look at the plate of cupcakes, one is pink and one is blue.
Yeah.
One is pink and one is blue. That's still like she's trying to imply something. Not only that, but there's still scenes where she like calls Sonic cute. And is like clearly showing affection for him.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's basically they just kind of tone down the insanity, which in Frontiers, a lot of people complain that Amy, her crush on Sonic, seemed to just be non-existent. I don't think it is. It's just heavily downplayed in that one. And I feel like Sega's trying to find the right balance, because they
just don't want her to be a clingy mess anymore.
Yeah, because so many people complained about how these characters got hyper flanderized, and I think they're trying to figure out a way to make it work. And these aren't the only characters she isn't the only character that got rewritten. Knuckles got some slight rewrites, but the fact so he's not as stupid as he had been written for the last decade.
That's good.
But the problem is, and this is kind of a problem with a lot of the rewrites from what I've seen, they didn't bother to reanimate any of the scenes except the opening scene with the cupcakes. Because now, if you save Knuckles with classic Sonic, in the original, Knuckles would be like, "Whoa, Sonic, are you like rounder? Why are you chubbier?"
Right.
And then classic Sonic would have a little gag where he like rubs his stomach and he looks insecure about his weight. In the new one with the rewrites, Knuckles goes, "Hey, thanks, Sonic. Well, part of my island is here. Where's the rest of it? Do you know?" And then classic Sonic rubs his stomach and looks sad. So now it looks like classic Sonic ate
the other part of the island.
Yes. And it's
classic Sonic ate the island.
He ate the island.
He ate the mother island.
Yeah, me with an Angel Island-sized belly.
Angel Island classic Sonic.
Yeah. No, it's
what the fuck?
It's cool, but it's like I get the idea, but they didn't put in enough effort. The cutscenes are also paced exactly the same, so the dialogue has to be like rushed. The voice actors have to rush through saying everything.
Yeah.
To make it fit with the original pacing. And it's really awkward. And yeah, no, it's not the best. From what I've been hearing and from what you've said, it sounds like Shadow Generations is just in general much better about the writing.
No, it's definitely about Shadow Generations. Shadow Generations is really good so far.
It's
just a good time.
Tell me about it. Like how you're feeling. What are your thoughts? I haven't played it yet.
All right. So I don't know if this is just me right now. But it feels like Shadow is still staying true to like being just kind of Sonic harder mode, right? Because it's not like it's not like insanely difficult at the moment, but it's not like it's got more like Shadow has more abilities. He's got more stuff to remember to press, which is one thing entirely. And there are challenges centered around helping you master that. I do feel like it kind of throws like a bunch of powers at you way too fast, but that could just be me like powering through it. I don't know. And I'm not really complaining that there's like an overabundance of stuff to like use. I'm just saying it's hard for me to get used to all the controls when there's a lot of stuff that Shadow can do. But I'm getting used to it, and I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying that there are. But the gameplay is very, very fun. It's just really refined boost gameplay, but with the Shadow skin, and it's really smooth. Like Shadow's got his Chaos Spear. He's got the Dark Surf Manta Ray thing, which these are all implemented in very, very seamless ways. Like they flow very, very well with the gameplay, and I like that.
I've been hearing a lot of praise for
Um,
the wings specifically because
mhm,
of how they like very much open up and like change how the level works.
mhm.
I saw one person say that, hey, in this one level, try not using the wings because it also
Mhm.
plays very differently from if you were playing with the wings.
I see. Yeah, because I haven't used the wings in like only one stage because I haven't really gotten it as like a permanent ability. It's just something that I got in a stage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I used it in that stage, and I was like, I didn't really get a lot of time to play with it in that stage, and also I wasn't like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, my uh reaction time has been kind of nerfed lately,
Mm-hmm.
because of slight sickness, so I wasn't putting it up to its full potential, but like I would say yeah, it's definitely comfortable, and it's just man, it's so much fun. It's like it's nothing crazy new. It's just additions to the classic Sonic formula that we all know and love, and it's hard to go back to Sonic generations when you've been playing Shadow because Shadow can do so much shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for the first time, like in Sonic generations, you always want to boost, 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 right? You typically don't ever not want to boost.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in Shadow, again, could be my reaction time lately, but there were times where I was just like, I was still like always boosting, and I was just like, I should really like slow down for a second, just so I can make sure I'm reacting to all this stuff properly, because like it's definitely got high replay value in terms of like figuring out the stages. There's a lot of different routes you can take while doing the stages. There's like a lot of different like methods you can tackle them in, um, and different shortcuts and stuff like that. The voice acting is really, really good. The story so far is really, really good. They're not like cramming it down your throat. It's like it's got the cutscenes every so often. It gives you challenges that are, it's still more game than it is story, which, to some might be one thing or another. But like, I do love that it's a nice mix of like Sonic story with Sonic gameplay, right? But still a
Mm-hmm.
lot of gameplay. Um, yeah, I heard the shadow sections gave people whiplash when switching back to Sonic. Yeah, so like what I did is I tried the first shadow level, first two shadow levels rather, Act 1 and Act 2 of the first shadow stage, and then I went back to Sonic and I was like, wow, I don't know if it's because I've like played the crap out of like Green Hill 3D, but like I noticed that it feels a lot different in the sense that like this is shadow sections feel a lot more involved than Sonic's do. Um, not in a bad way, just like maybe more like difficult or more input, more like thought provoking in the sense of like, okay, I actually have to like in Sonic stages, I could just kind of like boost, jump, and like I'll probably get through the stage rather easy. But Shadow is just like, okay, wait, settle down. Let's okay, how am I gonna tackle this one? Right? I didn't have to think for like a minute, right? It was still Sonic gameplay. I was still running fast, but I didn't just like do my typical lean back in the chair, boost through everything, jump, and like that's it. I had to
Mm-hmm.
kind of like think for a second, especially because he gets so many abilities. Like it's a lot to do. But yeah, very, very, very goated stuff there. It's really, really good. I love it,
Yeah, no,
and I know you will too.
I can't wait to actually play it. It looks so much
Mhm.
fun. It it really feels like they are just like making steps in the right direction.
Yeah.
Frontiers help them like kind of figure out a direction to go that was the right direction. It just wasn't the best execution. And then this seems like, okay, now we're kind of going back to this game so we can like further evolve on a lot of these ideas from the
Hmm.
newer stuff, but try and figure out what worked about in the past. And like, I'm really hoping this means like we can get whatever the next fully new game is. It ends up being like great. Which knowing Sonic, but
Yeah.
oh god, it's like I shouldn't get my hopes up, but I want to.
No, I mean, don't expect anything like revolutionary. It's just a really, really solid Sonic title. Shinigami's also right. Don't try to like switch between Shadow and Sonic, because they have different like controls to fit all the shit they can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sonic doesn't have a whole lot. Like he can't. Sonic for me, I don't know if this is for everybody else, but like Shadow has a double jump, and then he can only like you know how Sonic can like homing attack like a short distance with no target
Mm-hmm.
by double hitting the jump button. Shadow doesn't do that. He just double jumps, but his dash goes for it. It's like slightly different. So yeah, you might get whiplash, and it'll take a little bit of getting used to. But don't think you can just like kind of swap between the two and just immediately like switch back and forth. It would take time.
It'd be
It would take
fine.
time.
There'd be no difference. No, there's actual differences.
Yeah, Sega started winning after Yakuza 0. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Once Yakuza 0 happened, it was over for everybody else.
Yeah, Yakuza just saved Sega as a company.
I feel like
In a lot of ways, that's not wrong.
yeah.
Anyway,
Uh.
I guess just kind of move on from that. So
Yep.
Blade has been delayed again. They announced a
Marvel
Blade
movie?
movie in 2019, a new one starring Mahershala Ali. And this movie keeps getting delayed over and over and over and over again. And then they'll be like, hey, we got this writer on it and we got this director. And then it's like, oh, the director left. Okay, now we have a new writer on it and we're looking for a new director. Okay, now we have another new writer on it and this time we found a director. Okay, the director left. Also, we have another writer coming. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming. Oh, okay, the director has left again. This movie's never coming out.
I like the comments of this specific post by discussing film. It's like one says like crazy how the cooler MCU projects are the movies that get stuck in development hell, while the 15th Ant-Man has 0 issues. Or make an old man Blade movie with Wesley Snipes, just call it a day.
Seriously, it's literally what this is. It's have a black man kill vampires. That's all. It is so simple. Why is it this hard?
Yeah, I don't know why it's so difficult. Guess different people with different visions keep coming out. Like they get the biggest Blade fans they can find. They keep doing different shit with it, and no one can agree.
Nope.
Something. I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know.
I feel like I already kind of ranted enough about this on Twitter. It's ridiculous how
Blade.
This is happening. Anyway, so I don't know if you probably saw this. I don't know. This is a bit ago. Nintendo announced an alarm clock.
Oh, that I did see. Yeah.
Alarmo.
I did see. I didn't watch the trailer, but I saw that they announced it, and I was just like, "Cool, we have phones. So what is this all about?"
So
it can play like different OSTs, right, or some shit like that.
No. Okay. So my immediate thought when I saw this was, oh, is this gonna be like Pokemon Sleep, where it's about making sleep about Pokemon, where the whole idea is we're trying to gamify sleep. By you sleeping, you get to play game when you wake up.
Right.
And I was like, that feels kind of dystopic. That feels
a little bit
not cool. I don't like that. I don't like my sleep being made about Pokemon or any kind of game. Well, no. So what this is, looking more into it, it's basically, it's an alarm clock, but it detects, it has like a motion sensor in it. It's not recording you, but it has a motion sensor. And you aim it at your bed, and then in the morning, when it goes off, it will start playing music. And then as you move, the more you move, it will start to play sound from whatever game it was you picked as your alarm. It'll start to play a sound from that game that is typically associated with, oh, I want that. Like, this is a good sound. This gives me the good chemicals. So, like, if you play Mario, you play Jump Up Superstar, as was demonstrated in the trailer. As you move around, you will hear coin collecting sounds. And it seems more like what it's doing is it's trying to help motivate. It's trying to use these baked in, like, desires put into you by video games, where it's like, you want to get the coin. Getting a coin sounds good. It gives me the good chemicals. It makes me feel good. Well, now I'm using the sound to motivate myself to get out of bed because it won't stop until you get out of bed. The music won't stop until you get out of bed. And the more you move and the more you get out of bed, the more of the good sound plays.
The comments are really funny. Someone said, Link, wake up, Link. You've been late to work twice this week already. They're going to fire you, Link. And then someone said, imagine the sheer horror of trying to get 5 more minutes of sleep, only to be disturbed by the Guardian music.
Yeah, oh my god, the Guardian music would be
dude,
awful.
I would shoot out of bed. It would give me the bad chemical, and it would work. That's the scary part.
That would give you the bad chemical.
No, it would give me the bad chemical, and it would fucking work.
But no, it's like, looking at it, it's like, this doesn't seem that bad. I actually really like this idea. The problem, $100.
$100.
$100.
I see. Well, it's a no from me.
Yeah, nope, fuck that. I will be purchasing it on Black Friday, where it is less, where it's like $30, maybe $40. Maybe.
Is that the price actually for like Black Friday? Is that what they're saying?
No, that's just me trying to like give it the most perfect conditions to want to buy it.
I see. Yeah, if
because
it's like a $30 to $40 item, sure.
Because this is not this is a cool novelty. This is not worth $100.
No, not at all.
This is a neat idea. No, I'm not paying $100 for this.
It's literally just the Subway Surfers version of like TikTok videos, but for sleep.
Oh yeah, another thing. It also only works if there's a single person in the bed. So if you have a wife,
yeah. So kids, if you're getting down and dirty with your neighbor, don't.
They made an alarm clock for lonely people who need a reason to get out of bed in the morning.
I mean, there's also the probability that it's probably just for kids who aren't in sexual relations because they're children.
Maybe.
I think that's probably the demographic here.
Probably.
This is probably children that are definitely single because they're children.
Yeah.
But could be wrong. I mean, because let's be real, there are adults that are going to buy. I would buy it if it was cheaper, right? Because
if it wasn't $100, I would be like, yeah, that sounds neat.
Yeah, it looks like a cool thing. Sure.
I wouldn't go out of my way, but if I saw it for a decent price, I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? I do genuinely have problems getting out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry. It's like, it's a very commonly recognized problem, and it's just like, no matter how much sleep you get, you're always tired anyway when it's time to wake up. And it's just like, well, fuck. So maybe this will help people. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it better play the Guardian theme whenever.
There are a number of Zelda. I think what it is there's 5 games in it, and by default there are going to be 5 games, and each one has 7 songs. And seeing as Breath of the Wild is represented, and there's not that many songs in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, they would
feel
put
like
they put the whole soundtrack inside.
That seems very possible.
Yeah,
that seems very possible.
With the Guardian song, yeah.
They're gonna be adding more. They're gonna be adding more games and songs in free updates.
Yeah, they'll make Alarmo DLC for sure.
I think what they should do is add a Xenoblade version where the song where like as you're moving. So what it'll do is it'll play like a hard rock ballad with electric guitars, and then as you move around, it's the various party members screaming their battle cries.
Get up, Ryan!
Get up! I'm the girl with the gall.
Yeah, they just start saying like their friends are like downed.
Yeah,
and that's the shit that they play.
And then you hear Shulk go, ah!
It sounded really funny for Mike because he just like faded out really quickly, like ah, like.
Oh yeah, play the kazoo version of the battle theme.
Oh shit. Yeah, play the kazoo theme when you fall back asleep.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, no. It would be great if they did something like that. So just really funny. If not, I'm sure someone could very easily hack this thing and add it in.
Yeah, for sure. And it will be hacked.
Yeah.
It will be hacked to say, yeah, Shulk just saying I'm really feeling it, like right in the middle there. That's exactly what they're gonna do. 100%.
Oh, and then
100%.
if you don't get up, it does the Xenoblade 1 thing that's really frustrating, where it just interrupts the good music and it plays the bad song.
The You're in Danger song.
The boom 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 boom. And it just keeps playing that
Yeah.
until you get the fuck up.
Yeah. And it's like,
Ugh.
well, now I'm not feeling it. Like, fuck
Yeah,
you.
it's like, oh, now I hate this thing because it's not motivating. It's motivating
Yeah.
me negatively.
Now I want to stay down.
Yeah. What would happen if Goku married Frieza on Namek?
They didn't. I mean, didn't they do that?
They got. That's a good question. They might have actually
got
gotten married.
I thought they got married on Namek.
Frieza's a woman, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you also don't need to be a man and a woman to get married.
Well, no, that's
regardless,
true.
Frieza is a woman.
Frieza's a woman, no matter what kind of lipstick she does or doesn't wear.
Mm-hmm.
And Goku did marry her, and that happened.
Yeah.
They had 5 minutes to plan the entire ceremony, and they did.
Yeah.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
They got married and then divorced, and then they came to Earth shortly after.
Yeah. Yeah.
That happened.
Frieza brought her dad
You
to
saw
meet
Frieza
her new husband.
Yeah, you saw Frieza in the Tournament of Power. They're still together, but
Yeah.
they just had a fight. That's all.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of Monolith Soft and Xenoblade, Monolith is expanding its in-house Xenoblade game engine for future titles.
Wait, say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Monolith Soft is expanding its in-house Xenoblade game engine for future titles.
Oh.
So they can make bigger games better.
Oh. Can they remake X?
I really freaking hope so.
Can they fucking do that already?
Can they port it to Switch or Switch 2 or anything, please? Something not the Wii U. I would like to play it again. Also, make an X2, please.
Dude.
It's so good. It's so good.
You better
and
hook your Wii U back up now.
People underestimate it because, oh, well, the story, it's not very story focused. And it's like, yeah, but the game though.
But the video game part is good.
The video game part is so good.
Well, sorry, sister. You better boot up your Wii U again, because that shit ain't going... You're not going nowhere!
Oh,
You got me for 3 console generations!
I want to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry, it's not going anywhere. Not until the Switch 4.
No. But yeah,
this
is something that I threw on here, and where at the time I thought I would have more to say, but now I'm kind of realizing, no, that's cool. I hope they do Xenoblade. I actually don't have that much to say about it.
We ended up talking about more about it putting X on like new consoles technically than we did talking about the cool factor about it. I mean, it kind of, I mean, isn't that the first thought is like, okay, you made a cool new engine, now figure out a different way to program Xenoblade X, or just make it different and then put it on a console that was successful.
And also make a sequel, please.
And make a sequel while you're at it. Stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Dumbass. Anyway.
Something about this planet.
Something about this planet. A whole different planet.
Well, you know what else it's something about? You want it? It's something. So okay. So Xenoblade, I gotta segue with this. The thing with Xenoblade X is that we haven't had an explanation for what happened in that game, what was going on there, and people are still desperate to know. But thankfully, this other situation, we don't need to be sitting around for a decade plus wondering what the hell happened here. Because I don't know about you, but have you been seeing the stuff coming out of the Uzumaki anime?
No, I've been wanting to watch it. What's going on with it?
I'm gonna. This is actually a great opportunity. Let me send you a clip.
Don't ruin this for me. All right, what do we got?
Give me one moment. I will send it to you. Here we go. Take a look.
Okay. Alright, let me see this. Huh. He's not really animated, is he?
And then look at this. Look at this second clip.
Okay, let me see that. Oh wow.
And what sucks is the first episode looked like this.
See this? Yeah, the whole head thing is animated, so
So according to Adult Swim executive producer on the show, according to executive producer, they were, quote, screwed over. Basically, he said that the first episode took a very long time to make, and then it took a very long time to make, and someone was not happy with how long it took to make the one episode. So they took that person off the project and then got apparently someone who is actually just blacklisted from the Japanese anime industry. But it resulted in animation on par, if not arguably worse, than Berserk 2016.
yeah, it definitely yeah, remember that one scene in Berserk 2016 where he was like walking, but it was like terrible.
Where he's walking like a South Park character, but he's also like moving at
yes,
a foot every minute.
something like yeah. It was. I think back to that. I think back to that, and that's just funny to me. I mean, I guess this series is still worth watching. I mean, Super had the same issue, but I kind of powered through that, so maybe this one won't be so bad.
I don't know. It sounds like at least the first episode is worth watching. Because the first episode just received across the board praise from people who, the only people I saw criticizing it are the people who, the second they see any kind of CG, they're just lose
like,
their minds.
Yeah.
Even though there is there is good CG, they're just so used to anime CG being bad that it doesn't matter if it's good or not, it's bad.
Right. It's just bad because CG. Yeah.
Anything made by Studio Orange is bad because it's CG, even though everything Studio Orange has made looks incredible.
Well, shit. Okay. So
yeah,
it
sounds like there is a single person to blame, and the executive producer cannot say who it is, but he makes it clear there is someone to blame. This is someone's fault.
That's like professionally, like saying, like, I didn't fuck up, but somebody did. I'm not supposed to say professionally who did it, but somebody did.
Someone fucked up.
And that's how you professionally throw your coworkers under the bus, friends. You say, I didn't do it, but somebody did.
Yep.
Shit.
Another anime going through some very interesting production decisions. I actually talked to you a little bit about this one earlier. Is One Piece. So the One Piece anime is the modern day Dragon Ball Z, where it's this hyper popular, super long running anime series. It's a shonen, ran in Shonen Jump, hyper popular, makes a shit $1 billion. But also the pacing of the anime, due to the fact that it was a weekly series throughout its entire run, the pacing is utterly garbage. Awful. Well, they are taking a 6-month hiatus for the express purpose of making it better, making all of this better, and in in its place, we are getting a remastered version of one of the most infamously poorly paced arcs in the entire series. And they cut it down from like 59 episodes to 21. More than half of its length was cut.
Nice.
Oh my god, this is huge. This is huge. I hope. So, okay, so there's this. It's this. So this new like re-edit is called One Piece Log. It's gonna be this is the equivalent of Kai. This is One Piece Kai, basically.
Okay.
One Piece Log. But there's also The One Piece, which is a remake of One Piece. So I think what they're doing is they're gonna do One Piece Log, where they will make it look like the modern anime. Then that One Piece is going to be covering everything from the very beginning, probably to the time skip. That's probably, I get the feeling that that's probably what their goal is going to be, is to aim for the time skip. Then once they get there, they're going to, then you would just swap over from the One Piece to One Piece Log, where you would get a much better paced version of everything. And then once you run out of One Piece Log, you just watch the main One Piece series. If I had to guess, that's what they're doing. Can't say that for certain, but I feel like that's also kind of like what I would hope would be like the best case scenario, almost, of like, if this is what you're doing, this is how I would do it.
Yeah.
But I think it's rad. I think this is awesome. This is great for One Piece fans. I'm very excited. I'm really curious how this is like what is this going to mean in the long run? Is it simply just going to be the anime will have better animation, or does this mean the pacing will be a lot better because there will be a giant 5-month gap that allows them to just do it better? I don't know. We'll have to see.
No, I completely agree. As a very on and off casual fan of One Piece, I think that it definitely needs its hiatus, and I think it's good that they're using that time to just refine what they've already done. I mean, I think it's a great use of time.
Not only is it re-edited, but it's also like they're touching up the animation, and it looks like night and day. Like I think I sent you a comparison between the two, and it's drastic. But it also, you can look at it and you can tell this probably didn't take that long to make it look better. It was just a very
good old
turnaround.
remaster is all you need. It's all you need. And then cutting out all the stuff you don't need, of course. Yeah. Like, not a huge project, just something nice to tide people over.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, another thing, another animated series that we like, but is very divisive online, the Castlevania animated series.
Yeah, still need to watch the Nocturne one.
Same. Well, the guy who produced the Castlevania, I don't believe he's producing Nocturne. The guy who produced Castlevania, Adi Shankar, is also producing a Devil May Cry animated series, in which he had some thoughts about a very specific character in Devil May Cry. He said the character of Virgil. You know Virgil, the main antagonist of Devil May Cry 3 and Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
The rival, Dante's brother, he's a right bastard, you know?
Yeah, he's kind of a jerk.
Well, Adi Shankar says that Virgil is not a villain, he's just an anti-hero. Because villains are the heroes of their own story.
If that's the argument, then every villain would be an anti-hero.
My response would be, this isn't Virgil's story we're witnessing. This is Dante's story. And not only that, but both in Devil May Cry 5 and in Devil May Cry 3, it is depicted that Virgil doesn't give a shit about collateral damage. He's just willing to let a bunch of people die because he wants more power. I don't know if that's anti-hero. I don't know if that's an anti-hero.
Well, yeah, you're obviously, yeah, right. Like it's not, that's very much villainous. It's evil. That's terrible. But does it not satisfy the definition of anti-hero, which is where like I don't really care if this happens, or it is just like a really big thing. I don't.
I'm gonna look up like what is just a straight definition of anti-hero.
I mean, because it'd be a really extreme anti-hero, but like, let me see.
A central character in a story, movie, or drama who lacks conventional heroic attributes. So it would be someone like Punisher. Where the Punisher, he does the right thing, but he lacks a lot of those things that would make someone a traditional hero. He doesn't care that he's not going to be like nice. He's not going to be clean about it. He's not going to do the right thing. Well, he's not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to kill you because that's wrong. He's going to be like, no, I'm going to fucking kill you because you killed them. So I'm going to kill you for it.
So it is a person that is put into the category of hero, but a kind that goes by their own code, right?
Kind of, yeah, where it's like an anti-hero isn't selfish. They're still doing the right thing, and they're not doing it for selfish reasons. They're doing it. They're just the way they're doing it is messed up.
Yeah, because that like you could say that about Virgil in that case, but that's just too extreme. That is way too fucking extreme to even have hero like attributed to it.
Virgil
like,
also
I get,
isn't
like
everything Virgil does is also just entirely self-fulfilling. It like it's purely for his own sake. It's not actually for anyone else. It's just he needs more power.
Yeah, it's like I see what the person is trying to say. I just don't think anti-hero is near the right word. It's like I just don't think. I think he just doesn't give a fuck. It's really, but like to a very massive extent, right? Like it's just like if people want to, if a bunch of people are gonna die so he can have something, he'll do it, right? It's like, well, he's not a hero, but he's just there. I don't know what you'd call that, really.
Well,
like I mean, he's the antagonist.
Well,
Anti-villain? Yeah, I mean that could work. Yeah, I feel like it's a different category. I don't know. Well, not anti-hero, but it's not nothing hero at all.
Shinigami makes also brings up something. I don't know if did we talk about this? Dante in the series is not voiced by Ruben Langdon. He's voiced by Johnny Young Bosch.
We didn't talk about it on the podcast.
Oh, well, did we talk about this at all?
I don't think so.
Did you know this?
That he wasn't voiced by Ruben Langdon in what now?
In the upcoming animated series, he's not voiced by Ruben Langdon. He's voiced by Johnny Young Bosch.
You know what? Yeah, we did touch on that briefly, like personally together. Yeah. Like a little bit. Not much though.
Did we talk about why he's not voicing him? Because we actually do know why.
I don't think so.
So Johnny, when asked about it, Johnny said it's because Ruben retired, and he's been trying to convince him to come back to play Dante. But Ruben is like, no, I'm retired. I'm done. Well, if it was just that, yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair. But then Ruben had to start talking, and guess what Ruben's reason for retiring is?
What?
His reason to retire is he doesn't want to be is the fact that in order for him to come in and work and do all this voiceover, he has to get vaccinated.
Oh.
And he's not letting the government inject whatever the vaccine is into him because he don't trust the government. Because he's a weirdo conspiracy theorist who believes in aliens. And then COVID hit, and he continued to be a weirdo conspiracy theorist.
You gotta love Ruben, though. You gotta love Ruben. You just don't know with that guy.
This man.
You just don't know what's gonna happen.
This fucking
Oh,
man.
fucking Ruben. You know, that reminds me of something my friend said to me yesterday that was really, really raw. We were talking about Shadow Generations, right? And she said this. She said, I remember in the lead up to this game, there was some drama because the YouTuber looked at the first trailer and said, looks like Forces. And Sonic fans were getting tone policed, like that was some insightful critique we needed to respect. And she said, just saying, if you can't tell the difference between Shadow Generations and Forces, don't worry about what's in the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a flex. Like, if you feel this type of way, it's a new "you're stupid" insult just dropped. If you can't tell this or that, or if you feel this way about that, don't worry about what's in the vaccine.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry.
If you're retiring because they won't let you get a because they won't let you in without a vaccine, don't worry about what's in the vaccine. You're already good. You don't need it. You don't need it. That's so fucking funny.
Oh my
Holy
god. But
shit.
yeah, I love the guy. He will always be Dante to me. I do think it's still weird that it's Johnny Young Bosch. It's Nero playing Dante. I still think that's a very weird decision. But you know what? It's just let Ruben do it.
He's still lovable.
Leave him be.
Like,
leave him be.
He's my favorite anti-vaxxer because now to me it's just like I just imagine Dante just like being totally anti-vax.
Yeah, he's like wacky woohoo pizza, and then he's like, don't get vaccinated, kids. Don't trust your doctor.
You don't know what they're putting in that, kid. You don't know what's in it. Don't take it.
They're injecting microchips into our bodies.
Yeah, and then Virgil's just like,
stay away from that 5G tower.
You idiot, Dante. They're
Jeffrey
not putting
Epstein
anything in the
did kill himself.
Yeah. Dude, Dante is a conspiracy theorist. Like, Dante and Ruben Langdon are one. I don't even care. That's just funny to me. I mean, it fits. I feel like Dante would be a good Ruben Langdon and vice versa.
Oh, he would.
What the hell is this? Gets the vaccine. What the hell is this?
Yeah, that is funny that ever since Devil May Cry 3, they just started hiring a bunch of Power Rangers actors. Play everyone.
Oh yeah. That is everyone, funny,
everyone worked on Power Rangers at some point. Funny.
Ranger may cry.
Anyway, so, and this is probably the biggest thing to happen in the last month. Did you hear about this Pokemon stuff?
Let's see what Pokemon stuff it is. I heard about the Pokemon, the fire Pokemon one. You know, the second one. I don't know the details, so I want you to explain on the stream. But the first one I did not.
Okay, so first off, there's a big ol' hack of Game Freak, and a ton came out. A ton is still coming out. Just to kind of name a couple of things, we have the source code for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, as well as Black and White 2, for instance.
Oh, perfect.
Apparently, we are getting a shit ton of beta versions of like Pokemon X and Y, and we're seeing how like a lot of these games were like developing and what might have been cut. But it's also like, oh, so now that we have the source code, we can probably make PC ports of these.
Yeah.
And they would make it a lot easier to hack. But it's a lot of like, oh, this is really bad for Game Freak. And the sad thing is, the person who ended up enabling the hack to happen, the employee, their name is apparently stamped all over all of this. So they're dead. They're just dead. Like, and I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean, like, no, they're just gonna shoot him.
They're just gonna take him out back of Game Freak Studios and just like fucking kill him right there. Yeah.
No, they're gonna take him out back, and they're gonna give him a gun and be like, "You do it."
Yeah, they're gonna be like, you know what? Do it yourself.
Do it yourself. We're not letting you leave.
Oh my god. Yeah, you can.
We're not gonna do it. But we're not letting you leave.
Yeah, here's the thing. We can't let you leave, but here's a gun. So do with that what you will. But you can't leave, but here's a gun.
But no, it's like a lot of it is like interesting, but it's also just like, man, this is like really bad. I don't know if you remember this, the Nintendo Giga Leak that came out a few years ago.
Yeah, I do.
It's basically this is the Pokemon Giga Leak.
Mm-hmm.
It's massive. It's huge what is coming out. But what also came out is a bunch of what was intended to be in-universe like lore bits. It was supposed to be lore for how the Pokemon world worked.
Yeah.
For instance, we got like a full like diagram breakdown of how the Pokemon, like all the legendary Pokemon, how they work together in terms of the actual like creation and what the hierarchy of all of the legendary Pokemon are in terms of like god status. For instance, apparently we learned that Arceus, the way it worked is there used to be nothing, and then one day a giant egg appeared, and then it burst open, and a bunch of creatures came out, one of which was Arceus. And then they proceeded to have a giant battle royale that ended with Arceus winning. And then he took, I believe he took the bodies of all those other creatures and merged them into Dialga and Palkia, which would then go on to create time and space. And then he would use all of like the remains from all these other creatures to create different Pokemon and all this stuff. So it's like, oh, that's like actually really deep lore on how the universe works and how it came to be. Well,
and
another piece of lore that came out are a bunch of folk tales. Very, very like Grimm's Brothers fairy tales sort of stuff. Where it's like, oh, this is like supposed to be in universe, like how people rationalize and explain certain things. It mirrors a lot of real life folktale and myths, such as like Prometheus and how the sun came to be, how like the oceans came to exist, and all this stuff. But also something as simple as like, well, why do birds fly? Like what's the reason for that?
Just rip my heart out already. Just tell it. Just say it. Just say what it is. I know what you're getting at. Just say what it is.
Well, did you ever think that, hey, Typhlosions look kind of humanoid? No. I didn't, but apparently there's a story explaining why.
And why is that?
Typhlosion apparently got mistranslated, and it's not... Apparently the story isn't actually 100% what it sounds like.
Okay, what's the story, though?
Okay, the story is Typhlosion is a pedophilic rapist, kidnapper.
Like he was a person?
No, he was a Typhlosion who
he was just a pedophilic
who kidnapped a child and brainwashed them and raped them and had a baby with them and died, and then the baby would go on to spawn all the other Typhlosions, and that's why Typhlosions look humanoid. Even though I don't think they look humanoid.
They don't look humanoid.
Yeah, no, that's the weird thing. Is like I don't understand like what people are saying. This is supposed to explain why they look human, but they don't look human to me.
No, they don't.
Anyway, yeah. So Typhlosion. So people have noted that almost every single month there's been some giant. There's been some celebrity who has been outed as like some weird sex pervert, sometimes pedophile, sometimes not. Well, this month that person is Typhlosion.
Cyndaquil was my favorite Pokemon line. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Cyndaquil was my favorite Pokemon evolution line. Do you know how fucking cool Typhlosion sounds? Of course you do. You've said it. You've said Typhlosion before. Now I have to live with the fact that he's a pedophilic, kidnapping, rapist animal thing that's supposed to look like a human?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, from now on, I'm picking Totodile. So.
Fair. No one's picking Chikorita.
No one's picking Chikorita. No.
No one is picking Chikorita.
Well, that's why they're called the Game Freaks, right? Shinigami. There you go.
Yes, they're freaky.
Oh my god, dude.
Anyway, I'm getting hungry, and that's all the news from what I can tell.
Yeah, that's all the news. Let's just leave it at that. It's just
I'm getting
want the
hungry.
Typhlosion.
I'm gonna go make a boiga. I'm gonna make a boiga.
I'm gonna go cry probably.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Everyone else, you have a good one. I promise it won't be another month before we do another one of these.
Yeah. Y'all take it easy. Try not to be too sad.
Remember to go vote, and remember to not remember to it's don't give up. You know, don't be all depressed and nihilistic. Just go out and vote. It's your civic duty, and I really just want all this to be over.
Yeah, I'd rather
Really
all this
want this
stop
to be
too.
over.
No, I want this to stop.